St. Brown in motion right. And Goff going to look to throw right away. And that's to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. The catch and run going to wind up netting him 33 yards. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 43.
First down, Detroit.
Gibbs straight ahead. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Super!
There's Goff. He's got it complete to Gibbs. He's got room to roam. But he is out of bounds right around the 10-yard line. A big play there on the catch and run. 31 yards.
They made that way too easy for them. No one is supposed to be that open against an NFL defense. Once he caught the ball, there wasn't anybody close enough to stop him. And he was able to continue downfield after making the catch.
20. Super 1.
Play action. It's Goff. On the RPO, he'll keep it and in for the Lions touchdown. David Montgomery, a 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Lions get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon. Well, we know he has decent hands out of the backfield. That's the first time, Charles, they've targeted him in the passing game, and it pays dividends.
And I love the design, too, because they kept him in the backfield, made the defense think run first before they swung him out of there. And you're right, with his hands, they might want to throw it to him just a little bit more.
Extra point right down the middle. And it's now a 7-0 game. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And that one going to hop into the end zone, and it'll come out to the 20.
At their own 20-yard line.
Looking to put a drive together. First carry here for Ken Walker. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped. Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
That's good.
Absolutely love the run right there. This guy's known for his quickness, but also for his speed. He's able to get to the second level almost before you blink if you give him any type of blocking. Always talk about slot receivers, and they're usually known as quicker than fast. In this case, we get it.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Flying in for that sack, Aiden Hutchinson.
Now that was a passer's nightmare. The front door totally shut down by the defense, so he kept going backwards, hoping to find another avenue of escape. It didn't exist.
So now 20 yards to go on second down after the sack. Work to be done. From the gun, it's Walker. And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets him back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. Facing some long odds here if they hope to convert, as they're well behind the original line of scrimmage. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Oh, his first throw of the game going to be intercepted. And he's going to return it to the 21-yard line.
Parker, I think this one went awry very simply because he overestimated his arm strength and his ability to fit it anywhere he wants to. A lot of quarterbacks do that and often pay the price.
Hey, Shell. Here we go. 120.
On 1st and 10, here's Gibbs. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Jahmyr Gibbs, a 21-yard touchdown run. And the Lions are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. They've got to be thrilled on the road right now. Touchdown, turnover, touchdown, and quickly trying to make it 14-0.
Yeah, and mentioned it already. On the road, to be able to go into someone else's house and establish a start like that, obviously your confidence rises in a big way, and you're putting some doubt in their minds.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30.
First and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown, so decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan, or do we just need to execute better and try and get back in this game?
36-yard line.
Ball on the 36 now. Here's second and a couple.
Go set. Hey, set.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Darnold. Throw out wide to Walker. It'll be a gain of just a yard. And that will bring up 3rd and 1.
A gain of a yard brings up 3rd and 1.
Hey, set.
A play fake, and it's Darnold. And he is caught. And he's going to be brought down on what will be the final play of this first quarter. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports.
Set. Hey, set.
Walker now on 1st and 10. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
From the 48-yard line, here's the 2nd and 8.
Yo, 80. Hey, set.
Back to throw, Darnold. Over the middle, that's held in by Cup. And a hard tackle there as he'll go down after a gain of about 5. A great job there, Charles, just to hold on, absorb that contact. I guess that's the risk you take catching the ball toward the middle of the field.
It is, and if you're going to gain yardage, you're going to have to go there at some point. But how about the read, okay? The eyes of that play, stepping out from the middle of the field and really making them.
There he goes, right side. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Ken Walker, 46 yards. And the Seahawks have cut it back within a score.
You see this a lot on 3rd and short yardage, especially down here in the red zone. They're going to sell out to stop the run, try and hold them to a field goal. But once the running back gets past the first wave, the resistance can evaporate after that. And he not only picks up the first, but he takes it all the way into the end zone.
14.
Extra point up and through by Myers. And that'll make our score 14-7.
Jason
And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26.
At their own 26-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
Well, this offense looks like they have a little extra pep in their step as they take the field here for drive number 3, because remember, Charles, drives 1 and 2 both ended in the end zone.
Yeah, right now they've just got to be careful not to lean into over.
And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Well, they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line.
The Seahawks take over first and 10 at the 38-yard line.
So here's a first and 10 at the 38. Up the middle, here's Walker. And an excellent job of finding the opening as he's got this now all the way down to the 22.
16 yards. And the Seahawks first down. First and 10 at the 22-yard line.
To throw is Darnold. Open man is Barner, the tight end.
Here we go. To A.J. Barner. It's a pickup of 6.
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the second quarter. 14-7.
16-yard line.
Here now, 2nd and 4.
Here's Darnold. Setting up the screen here. This is Walker. Only a yard there. Sniffed out well defensively, and it brings up 3rd.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
Here's Darnold. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Kenneth Walker. He scored on the ground and through the air. And the Seahawks are within an extra point of tying up this ball game. Now Myers for the extra point. And we've got a good one brewing. We're all knotted up at 14.
That ties the game at the 14. Jason Myers.
This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22.
The Lions take over first and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Goff now to throw. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
That's good for the Lions. First down.
Out of the gun, they'll give to Gibbs. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's 2nd down.
Worry on the stop. It's a gain of 5. Brings up 2nd and 5 at the 46-yard line.
Goff. He's airing it out for Williams. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
And they're not going to go quietly into this halftime break. They know they're in for a fight, so they're trying to make every possession count. They took the big shot there, but it winds up incomplete.
Here we go. Like 20. 4 down.
A shotgun snap for Goff. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
One first down here, and that's all, folks. Good work by this defense to hold things in check and force a punting situation.
Goff and his guys not coming off the field. They're going for this. They'll send a receiver in motion to the left. On fourth down, Goff. Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked by Julian Love. And the Seahawks are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line.
It's a turnover on downs.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line, tackled there.
That's good for a Seahawks first down.
Up the middle they run, it's Walker. Shedding the tackle, that gives him some room. And he's taken down inside the 30. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And ready to get the party started for the second half. It was an even first half, all tied on the scoreboard. Oh, a good return up past the 30. Now that should give him a spark. He's across the 40 to the 43.
In a tie game that's going back and forth, oftentimes teams get really conservative because they don't want to make a mistake. But after that return, I think the offense coordinator just took a deep sigh of relief and said, okay, I can open up my playbook now. Let's see if he attacks.
And this one not going anywhere. They get him at the 44 for a gain of just a yard.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has a great priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
From the 44-yard line, here's second down and 8. Now it's Darnold. Over the middle, complete to Shaheed. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down.
First and 10 at the 38-yard line.
Straight ahead, Walker. And he'll get what he can up the middle, 3 yards. That'll bring up second down.
That's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that feeling like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
Darnold now to throw. He completes this to Walker. They'll give him 4 yards there. And now we've got a third down and 3.
Brings up third and 3.
Darnold. Oh, the turnover fest continues. Here's another interception. And the Lions are going to get it back here just past the 35. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys, they're tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments.
17. 17. We're good. We're good.
Now it's gone. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
As his old brain remembers, when I see 5 wide receivers on the field as a defender, I know the ball's coming out hot. They expected it and got there and popped it free.
180. Super one. Super one. 12. Listen. Split.
Back to throw. Gone. That back foot throw there is incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction.
Gesture. Ric Flair.
Here we go on fourth. Goff. And yet again, Goff is intercepted. Picked off by Ernest Jones. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. So they go on fourth down. Not only do they not get it, it turns into 6 points the other way. Disastrous.
And many people think you should just go ahead and knock it down in that situation. Turn it over for the offense. But I had a defensive coordinator recently tell me, we see that as a passive play. We don't do that anymore. We want the ball in our hands, and we want to head the other way.
Probably also instinct a lot of times. If you see a lot of green grass ahead of you, go ahead and grab it.
It's the exact right play to do. That's knowing when to break the rules and when to make a play that maybe you hadn't been taught.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
Take over first and 10 at their own 30-yard line.
The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. Straight ahead with Gibbs here. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12. We'll see what they have drawn up here. A little bit behind the line. 12 yards needed to gain a first down. Now Goff. And he will not be able to hang on through the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's 4th down.
My first thought is surprise because that's one of the better tight ends around, and I've seen him pull in balls like this before. But how about a little credit to the defense forcing that incompletion?
They go ahead and snap it. Gone. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And, boy, possession here turns over with a football already being in the red zone. We couldn't ask for much more to this point in the second half. A gorgeous day, one-score game. 1st and 10 here. Running left is Walker. And for one of the few times here today, this one's not going to go anywhere. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Some teams like to start aggressive to begin a drive, but this is still what you expect to see in normal situations. Just call a simple run, get a few yards to begin the series, and set yourself up for something bigger on 2nd down.
He's going to get 4 out of this as he's down to the 10-yard line.
That's a gain of 5. Brings up 3rd and 4.
And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. This a big play for both sides. What will we see here? 3rd and 4. Now Darnold. He's got his target. That's complete. And the Seahawks are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
Good for a Seahawks. 1st down.
A shotgun snap for Darnold. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. So he stopped for no gain. And it'll bring up a 2nd and goal. Line of scrimmage, again the 4-yard line. 2nd and goal. Walker is not going to advance very far. He'll be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play. 3rd and goal. Walker once more. Pushing for the end zone, but he's not going to get there. They stop him just shy of the goal line. The offense is staying out there. Here we go on 4th and goal from the 1. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Eric Silver with an amazing diving catch. And the Seahawks have opened up a 2-touchdown lead here in this 4th quarter. Well, that's certainly going to bump up the old win probability index because now it's a 2-score game here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, you're taking me into that deep water now. Win probability index. This game's definitely not over. We're not looking at a 0.5% or something. It's just 2 scores. But the way that this team has played, to me, what I've seen, they absolutely deserve to win this game. They've been the better team by far throughout.
And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Well, Charles, you remember their last drive. They went for it on 4th down, didn't get it, but you understand why they did in this close game late. Now, though, the road back is even tougher.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It was fair to look back and say the 4th down was a moment where this one was decided. But as you mentioned, understandable about why they went for it. But, hey, a lot of credit to the guys on the defensive side of the ball. They knew they'd have to defend in that situation, and they got it done.
2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
Here we go. 180.
There's Goff. He's got right on the short throw. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. No tougher place to be in a spot like this than Seattle. Here's 3rd down. Here's Goff. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Julian Love picks it. And what a return as he brings this all the way back down to the 20-yard line.
The Seahawks take over 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line.
Here we go, set. Stay set.
We got to have 2 hands on the football here as they run on 1st down. And he will score. Touchdown, Seattle. King Walker scampering home from 19 yards out. And the Seahawks have pretty well put it away here in the 4th quarter. He's got the hat trick. 3 touchdowns now.
Did you throw yours? Did you throw yours out?
I didn't have mine. You've got yours. You've got one of those Abe Lincoln hats.
Yeah, and that stovepipe is going right out there for a nose for the end zone. 3rd time today. I think he deserves a tip of the cap.
Jason Myers to kick
And
off.
after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And makes it across the the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. The Detroit offense ready to begin their drive. But probably not much that they can do at this point, CD. Down 3 scores late in the fourth quarter. This is going to be a little too much to overcome, you would think.
Yeah, they'll go down swinging, but in the end, I think we saw the writing on the wall a while back because one team was clearly better than the other in this one. And while it didn't quite reach blowout status, as we knew who was going to win this one well before we got to this stage.
This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher third down looming.
And not a lot of success to be found there.
Oh, you got that right, partner, because if you're trying to make guys miss about 10 yards or so downfield, that's a pretty good play. But if you got to do it in your own backfield, I consider that a problem.
Picked by Julian Love. How about this? And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line.
Intercepted. The Seahawks take over first and 10 at the 28-yard line.
And Darnold wants to throw the football. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And down it goes, taking it inside the 10, just shy of the 5 at the 6.
Well, it may seem a little unorthodox to some people. Got the lead, fourth quarter, yet he's still firing away. I think he believes that's the best way to go ahead and win the game.
Yeah, a lot of coaches say, let's just run the football, be conservative. He's sticking to his game plan.
Now, that is his game, and that's what they're going to ride.
Second and goal from inside the 5.
Pickup of 2.
Out of the shotgun, here's Darnold. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. From 3 yards out. And the Seahawks up the lead to 4 scores now here in this fourth quarter. So it goes from a 3-score to a 4-score lead here in the closing moments of the fourth quarter. And whether they got that bonus touchdown or not, it's been a pretty impressive performance.
And they did it with not much time left. But they took what little time was on the clock and used it well, didn't they? Put a real exclamation point on their win with that score.
The lane opens here. He's past the 30. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase what's happened during the game. So after it's over, you're going to go to the film, find out where the game was really lost. But this is not a situation now where you're going to make up for anything.
We'll see what they do here. And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go to each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season. But on game day, you both want to show your best. And I think that's what we saw for both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. It's a win for the Seahawks here as we say so long from Seattle.